You've all heard of the All-American team, the All-Pro team, and of course the All-Madden team. But today, Jim will allow me to introduce for the first time the All-Sports Immortals Football Team.
Correct.
But first, I'm asking Jim to show me some one-of-a-kind football items. So Jim, can we start with this very old football over here?
Sure. That's from Sid Luckman, the great quarterback of the Chicago Bears. He attended Columbia University and then was drafted by George Halas. He became one of the best quarterbacks of all time, but his mother never got to see him play in Chicago.
Okay.
So in 1943, the Bears played the New York Giants, and his mother attended the game, and it just so happens that he broke and set the touchdown record. He threw 7 touchdown passes in that game, which that record has never been broken. It's been tied. And they gave him the game ball, which he presented to his mother and inscribed it as such to mother, and then the statistics from the game. And we became friends with Sid after his career. And after Sid passed away, he ended up bequeathing it to his daughter, who ended up giving it to us for the collection.
Wow, so that's that game ball.
That's the game ball.
That's amazing. And then we have a tobacco tin here.
Yes, that's from the 1880s. That's a tobacco tin from the man credited and recognized as the father of American football, Walter Camp.
With a book as well?
Yes, he wrote a book, and he is credited for inventing the term line of scrimmage and having 4 downs, as it's known in football today.
Wow.
And he coached and played football at Yale in the 1880s and 1890s.
And this was his tobacco tin?
Yes.
You already got me with the animal bones, but this looks a little bit different. What is this?
Well, this is a great piece. These are hip pads that belong to Byron Whizzer White, who was the Supreme Court Justice from 1962 to 1993. But prior to that, he was an All-American football player at the University of Colorado.
Wow.
And he even came in second place in the Heisman voting. He played 3 seasons in the NFL, 1 in Pittsburgh and 2 in Detroit. And we have the only known jersey to exist on him from the Detroit Lions.
But he was a part of the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that's something they'd wear in the games.
Yes, these are the famous goggles that Eric Dickerson wore the season that he set the single-season rushing record in 1984. And he would wear that underneath his helmet. And
Wow.
we have the helmet as well, but we thought that the goggles are pretty interesting.
These are way more interesting than a helmet.
Yeah.
Wow. Is this the helmet or?
No, that's a Steeler helmet from quarterback Bobby Layne,
Okay.
who is in the Hall of Fame, and he played quarterback for both Detroit Lions and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay.
But that's an old-time Pittsburgh helmet, and
Can I pick it up?
Sure, and we love Pittsburgh items, so we had to show something.
Of course.
Bronko Nagurski, one of the Chicago Bear great running backs. This is one of his last helmets, and it's autographed. And
See?
when he signed our painting, it took him over 1 hour to sign his name because he had such bad arthritis.
Oh, wow.
But Red Grange, who was the other great Chicago Bear running back at the time, credited him as being the greatest football player he ever played with. This is Bronko Nagurski's player contract from 1934.
No way.
Which says he's going to receive $225 per game for the season. And that was high because he was one of the best players on the team.
At the rate of $225 per game. That's crazy. And it has a signature, which is pretty cool. I mean, he had to sign the contract. Wow. And that was good.
That was very high at the time. This is actually a picture of him, which we believe is our helmet. But we haven't officially got it photo matched yet. But
I mean,
you could see it looks very similar and the holes all line up. But we're going to have to do that shortly.
Yeah, we should.
To confirm it. So you understand that they wore helmets like this and they didn't have face masks and stuff. This is a nose guard from 1910 that they would wear over their nose and tie it around their head. Feel it's like iron.
Oh.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Would all players wear it normally?
Not all of them. Not all of them. The rules didn't require them to really wear anything back then.
Okay.
So this was just, someone might have gotten a broken nose and wanted to wear that.
That's what I was thinking, because I've seen in like the NBA today, they'll wear different types of face guards and stuff like that if they've had a previous injury.
They might even worn it as an intimidation factor, because it's pretty scary.
That's scary. I don't know how scary that is. But that's a little scary. That looks not too comfortable if those are shoulder pads.
These are shoulder pads from none other than Jim Brown, the great running back of the Cleveland Browns. And what's great about this is that we have a letter right here. Why don't you read the letter?
To Sports Immortals Museum.
Yes.
These are the pads my husband, Jim Brown, wore during his playing day. His playing days?
His playing days.
Oh, his playing days. Mm-hmm. Sue Brown. Wow.
So we got him directly from his wife. And
she wrote it to Sports. That's really cool to have a personalized letter like that. And then is that his football, or is that?
No,
is that?
the last football there is a team autograph football of the Baltimore Colts from 1958. And they played the New York Giants in the NFL championship game, which is known as the greatest game ever played. They ended up defeating the Giants in overtime when Alan Amici scored the touchdown. And Johnny Unitas was the quarterback.
What year was this?
1958.
Okay, I would not have.
And it's signed by the entire team, as including 7 or 8 Hall of Famers are on that team.
Wow. Okay, I think that's just about everything on the table.
Yes,
can we get to what I've been waiting for, maybe?
I think we can.
Okay, let's go to the vault.
Okay.
I'm excited to see the All-Sports Immortals Football Team. So we are now in the vault, and we are starting off with defense. But first, I have to ask you, with all of these jerseys that you have and all this memorabilia you have from all these different football players, how did you come up with this roster?
Hours and hours of thought process. We came up with this list, and certainly 1 or 2 players could be interchangeable at a position, but we wanted to go with something that we felt very confident with, and we're happy with this roster.
I like this, and it looks like a lot of them are signed. So we're starting here with Reggie White for defense, signed.
Reggie White played for the Philadelphia Eagles and obviously the Green Bay Packers. That happens to be a game-used Green Bay Packer jersey.
All right, now we have Bruce Smith from the Bills.
Correct.
It's a little shriveled up.
Yeah.
It's an old one.
That is a game-used Bills jersey.
Oh, wow.
And he played in 4 Super Bowls. Unfortunately for him, did not win any. Unlike my Steelers, who won 4 in the 70s.
So this is...
But we're not flexing.
Sorry, I was a little distracted by this right here. I can see that there's stitching there instead of just the red laid on top of the material. Why is that?
Yeah, in today's NFL, the players get a new jersey just about every game. And when he played in some of the older jerseys, they did not have new jerseys every game. So they had to have their equipment manager actually sew the jerseys and make the repairs so they could be worn for the next game.
This is an old one from Mean Joe Green. I see that it has his name written on the collar.
Yes.
It's not even a tag.
Yes.
This is also signed?
That is a game-used Steeler jersey of, obviously, Mean Joe Green, who was on the Steeler teams in the 70s. But what he's famous for, in addition to his NFL career, is one of the all-time great Coca-Cola commercials.
Okay.
Where a little kid says, "Hey, Joe, you can have my Coca-Cola," and gives him the bottle. And then Joe famously goes, "Hey, kid, here," and he throws him his jersey.
Okay.
And it's very iconic.
Now we got Buck Buchanan from the Chiefs.
Yes.
Last year's champs.
That's correct. This is a game-used Buck Buchanan jersey. Unfortunately for us, we don't have it signed yet.
Can definitely tell it's game use.
He's getting pretty old, so we're running out of time to get it signed, but it's definitely a game-used jersey.
Well, Buck, if you're watching, hit us up, because we'd love to get you to sign this thing. Jack Lambert, linebacker.
Another Steeler.
Another Steeler with the long sleeves.
Yes.
What's up with these crew necks?
Jack Lambert, that's from 1983, the Steelers' 50th season.
That's really cool.
And he autographed that jersey as well.
That's a really cool patch right there, too. That's very unique. Another linebacker, Lawrence Taylor, clearly signed. It's a big one.
Yeah, he's...
Oh, and up here.
He's recognized as probably the best linebacker of all time. Some people, like myself, think Jack Lambert. And then the Chicago folks think Dick Butkus.
Okay,
who's
yep.
next. But
We were talking about him
it's
before.
hard to argue against Lawrence Taylor.
Spilled some coffee on this jersey, I think.
That may be blood.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna put it back down. When it gets dirty like that, does that make it more valuable or less valuable? Because blood?
Anytime you have a player's DNA on the jersey, it's more valuable. For sure.
Okay, that computes. That computes. Okay, now obviously Dick Butkus, who we spoke about in one of our previous videos.
I'm starting to think this is your favorite player.
No.
He's in every video.
We're cutting that because of the name. We're not putting that in there. This one looks a little cleaner, but I think that's just because it's dark.
This one, if you recall, also is well, obviously it's game used, but we got it photo matched as well.
Ooh,
That
okay.
particular jersey.
So now we have Deion Sanders.
Now we're up to the cornerbacks.
With a nice signature right there.
That's a game used Atlanta Falcons jersey.
Very nice. All right, we got another cornerback here, Mel Blount, signed Obvi, and also signed on the front with a little bit of dirt or blood.
I think that's grass stains.
Okay.
Which is also great.
That's better.
It shows usage.
Yeah.
And this is also with the 50th anniversary patch.
Oh,
the
it
Steelers.
is. I like that patch a lot.
And you'll notice that that's short sleeve.
It is.
So we have one player, Jack Lambert, with long sleeves from that season, and one was short.
I like that. We got a very old safety jersey here. Emlyn Tunnel.
Yeah, this is a real deal. This is a game-used Giants jersey. I'm fairly confident that this is a one-of-a-kind jersey. And you could see it had a little bit of padding, very thin padding on the sleeves.
It looks like it's just supposed to go up to their elbow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's throwing me off. I feel like they don't do that anymore, right?
No, jerseys change all the time.
Yeah. This one is really unique.
They would wear a cup to protect their private parts. And then
So it came with a something.
right. That's
Wow.
how some of the jerseys were.
Last but not least, we got Ronnie Lott, who did a lot as a safety. Tell me more, though.
Don't quit your day job. Ronnie Lott is a great safety for the San Francisco 49ers. We also need to get him to sign this jersey as well.
Ronnie Lott, do a lot, come through,
Yeah.
sign the jersey.
Yeah, game used but not signed yet.
Yet. Still very nice. I like this one.
Yep. And that completes the All-Sports Immortals defensive lineup.
Defensive. Now we go to
Offense.
Yes, let's go. So we're starting off strong here with Tom Brady. Signed.
It was a toss-up between Joe Montana and Tom Brady. We leaned toward Tom Brady getting the nod, but we had to honor Joe Montana nonetheless as his backup.
Okay.
But that is a game-issued Tom Brady autographed jersey.
Also, he went through a really bad roast session, so I think it was right of you to put him as the starter. Did you watch that?
No comment.
Did you watch that?
I thought it was hysterical.
I thought it was hilarious. So we're in agreement here. And then, like you said, Joe Montana.
Every other thing down the row and all the defensive players, every single one of them is game used.
Okay.
They actually put it on their body and wore it in a game.
Wow. Running back Emmitt Smith, also either blood or coffee. I don't want to know. Don't tell me.
I don't think it's coffee.
Oh, there's some on the front
Yeah.
too. So we're just gonna show you guys.
Emmitt Smith is the all-time career rushing leader.
Oh wow.
And that's a game-used jersey of his with some,
Patch,
probably
too.
some DNA, if you know what I'm saying up here. And that's a 75th anniversary jersey.
So next we have from the Browns, Jim Brown.
Correct.
Also signed, also game used.
This is an amazing jersey
This is thin.
from arguably the greatest athlete of all time, he and Ali and Jim Thorpe, but a lot of people put Jim Brown up there with them in the elite of all the all-time great athletes. And A fact that's not super well known is that he is also known as the greatest lacrosse player of all time. He played at Syracuse University.
Okay, dual sport athlete.
Yep.
That's impressive. And there's some patchwork here too.
We like to call that repairs.
Oh, repairs. Repairs. But like, it's a different color, and that's what I was saying. Do you see how thin this is?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, these jerseys, a lot of times the defenders would grab the jerseys and rip them.
Pull on it.
Yeah, and they would tear in half.
We have the legend Larry Fitzgerald. Right here, I see some stats on here too.
Yeah, that jersey was game used on December 30th, 2007, and he caught 11 passes for 171 yards and scored 2 touchdowns. He was an amazing receiver from the University of Pittsburgh.
This one's been through it. Oh, and it has a little bit of padding in the front, huh? Or is that just the way that it's shaped?
Yeah, it's just the way it's shaped.
Wow.
But it's signed on the front.
Yeah. It's interesting how it has a scrunch at the bottom too.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen that yet, I feel like.
Well, those are the changes in design.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. That's something that's really interesting to me, is the evolution of it all.
Yeah, so it's cut more to be tight around their shoulder pads and not to be long like dresses, like some of these other really long ones.
We've got another wide receiver here, Jerry Rice. This is a nice one too.
Yeah, Jerry Rice was Joe Montana's go-to guy and arguably the best wide receiver ever. Kellen Winslow, another 80. Born in the 80s.
Senior? Is it senior?
It is senior.
All right, Kellen Winslow Senior. 80 in the 80s.
Yes, we have to say senior because senior was a much better football player than his son.
Okay.
And
this is signed. Is it by multiple people or?
No, just him.
Okay.
But true story on this one is when I was 14 years old living in Pittsburgh, we had this jersey and we needed to get it signed. So my dad sent me to the hotel where the Chargers were staying. And I was waiting in the lobby for hours for him to come down, and he never came down. So I got on the house phone and I said, please connect me to Kellen Winslow's room. They transferred me, and I said, hey, Kellen, I got your jersey down here. Could you please come down here and sign it for us? He's like, sure. 5 minutes later, he came down and he signed it for me.
Wow. I recognize this last name. We got Tony Gonzalez here. 88.
Is it really your uncle? Uncle Tony?
That's a secret I'll never tell.
Whether he was or wasn't, or is or isn't.
This is a sick jersey.
That's a game-used Falcons jersey. And these two tight ends, phenomenal. Also, Rob Gronkowski's up there in the conversation as well.
Roosevelt Brown with the brown jersey, a very dirty one. Was this white before?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit dirty.
A little bit.
Makes it a lot more valuable. Roosevelt Brown could be the only one in existence also. Game-used New York Giants jersey.
It has the cup thing.
Yep.
Nice. So now we have the only one in plastic here, Anthony Munoz. I can see there's a little bit of flakiness here on the numbers. Is that why it's in the plastic?
Yeah, the numbers are starting to fall apart on that particular jersey, so we prefer not to take it out of the plastic.
Yeah, there's a little bit of crackling I can see, but that's cool because it just shows you how old it is.
Yeah, but that's a game-used Anthony Munoz jersey.
Hall of Famer. Wow.
Recognized as the greatest tackle of all time.
Now we have Mike Webster, signed, big center, also big dude, big jersey.
Yeah.
And this has the badge.
Yes, it does. Was recognized as the greatest center, and unfortunately, one of the early athletes that suffered CTE and ended up homeless before he passed away. Yeah, it's a pretty sad story.
It's really sad.
Yeah. But
my goodness.
Great player. He protected Terry Bradshaw.
Okay.
During the 4 Super Bowl seasons in the 70s.
Now we have Gene Upshaw. This is another big one.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Yeah.
Gene Upshaw, that signed, game used.
Signed with grass stains and a little bit of ripping there. That's pretty cool. Now lastly for offense, we have Jim Parker from the Colts.
This was probably the most challenging pick for me because there's some really good guards that are much younger than Jim Parker. We felt that he deserved it.
Yeah.
And he was a great offensive guard and protected Johnny Unitas.
If you guys want to make sure that you're staying updated on the All-Sports Immortals Football Team and everything else that we have to offer at our various vaults, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel because we're going to be posting a lot more cool YouTube videos for you guys to see what we have